hot seating. Hot seating is a technique that is very, very effective in drama when it comes to creating just a greater depth to your character, improving your character development. The basic situation is one person, a group member, just one simple member of a classroom, doesn't matter how many people, sits down at this chair and takes on a character that you're working on in a play, whether it's your own play that you're writing, whether it's a play that has existed for hundreds of years, or even whether it's just a commonly known character that everyone knows. It's ingrained in our popular culture. For the sake of this experiment, I will be using Clark Kent, or as most of you will know him as Superman. So, I'm the student. I've sat down on my chair and I get into the character of Clark Kent Superman. And I can express Clark in a many number of ways. I can communicate through gestures, facial expressions, in complete silence, if I want to. Or, the more conventional way, which I'll be demonstrating today, is where you sit down, you're asked questions of your audience, and you are to answer them back in character. Now, some of these questions will be really, really easy. They'll be ones that everyone knows from the general plot. In fact, I think I see a question over there. Yes, sir. Yeah, thanks. Just a quick question. How did you come about coming to Earth? How did you get here? Yeah, sure. I came to Earth on a spacecraft, basically, that my mother and father built to basically save me, because my planet was actually on the verge of destruction. My planet is Krypton, and my father had basically discovered that the Earth's atmosphere and the sun in Earth would protect me and make me stronger. And so they made the decision to save me from catastrophe by sending me to Earth. See, that was pretty easy. That was a character question that was a part of the screenplay, it was a part of the story, the legacy of the character that is Superman over the course of its 76-year existence. Then comes across a slightly harder question, one that though may still pop up in literature and films and comic books and video games and so on and so forth. It delves far greater into the character of the person. Yep, question right over there. Big fan. I was just curious as to whether there was anyone on Earth that you truly sort of cared about. Yes, I have plenty of people that I care about on Earth. First of all, my mother, Martha, who found me with my father Jonathan, who died some years ago, sadly. But yeah, I care about them very, very much. They in many instances made me the man I am today. Try to make me as normal a kid as possible. And also as well, I suppose the main person that strikes to mind of someone that I care about on Earth is Lois Lane. She's my friend and reporter, fellow reporter at the Daily Planet. I care about her very, very deeply, and sometimes I feel like she's the reason why I strive so hard to be human. To feel like I belong here. She makes me want to belong here and be human and protect the world, in a sense. See what I did there? You set with a base that basically it always starts with, that the people have seen in the scripts, but then you have to add to it. You have to justify why the character feels this way. And this may have never been presented in any version of Superman or the character that you're playing that you've ever seen. You have to justify it within yourself as the person taking on the role, that is what that person would say, how that person feels. Connect the dots. But then we come to the final bit. You may get a question that is entirely out of left field, a question that does not appear in any of the work that you've ever seen about your character. And it's still a legitimate question that you then need to draw on your own understanding of the character, but also the time period that he's set in, the location, the people that he loves, the people that he hates, the people that he works with or grew up with. All of these things make the character a complete person. I think I have a person right over here that wants to ask me a question like that. Hey man, this may sound like a really silly question, but did you ever sort of like hope that Martha and Jonathan would like, I don't know, have another kid, whether that be, like adopted or whatever? Yes, I actually would have loved a brother or sister growing up. Someone to play with, someone that would just generally understand me better. When I was growing up, as you can probably imagine, I wasn't able to play with a lot of kids purely because of my power and my inability to control that power at such a young age. Contact sports were hard for me and all that sort of stuff. So to have someone else with me that I could play with, that I cared for, that would understand my situation and not necessarily carry my burden with me, because I think that would be too much to ask, but to just be able to be around me, understand the issues that I face, and I think, on top of that, I'd feel sort of less alone, that I'd have my own champion with me to help me out in that situation, just being me, not feeling so alone. See? And I just have to pluck that out of thin air. But that's what actors need to do. They need to get inside their character. They need to figure out what makes them tick. Because when you go out onto a stage and you're giving a performance to an audience, whether you're a man that's capable of flying or an ordinary person like you and me, they're going to suspend belief for a moment and they want to buy into what you're telling them. And the best way you can do that is by understanding your character more completely than you ever have before. Now, hot seating, as you can see, is very, 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 very simple in its setup. And I challenge you now to go out and give it a go. Whether it's a play that you've been prescribed, an OSP, whatever. Sit down, assume a role, and see if you can't get more out of a character for yourself. Go on, give it a go. This seat's really comfortable.